I disagree with you vehemently.
Of course.
You had children out of wedlock. You never married the mother of your children.
Do you have anything
and yet
else?
You keep pushing this thing about a mother and a father. Where were your parents?
You're displaying your anger right now.
No, I'm not.
No. You're an angry liberal female lesbian.
I hope that God forgave you for having children out of wedlock, Mr.
I only have
Peterson.
one. You should overcome your anger. You should overcome your anger.
For not honoring God and having sexual relationships with a woman that I believe you did not marry, which is an abomination under the eyes of God.
Yesterday, I interviewed a young man on the show by the name of Nathan Mansky. He is the founder of I Am From Driftwood. It's archives of LGBT stories and LGBTQ, I believe, stories from around the country. And this website is for these folks to go on and try to seduce you by telling you all these so-called sad stories. I didn't fall for it, and hopefully a lot of Americans are not falling for it. But right after the show, a woman by the name of Carolyn Kramer called my office, and I spoke with her, and she was pretty upset about that interview. And Nathan he confessed, I didn't ask him, but he said that he was a homosexual. I didn't ask for that, but he said that he was. And I asked Carolyn to come on the show, and she finally agreed to come on. Let me bring Carolyn in. Carolyn, good morning, and welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, Reverend. How are you?
All is well. You can call me Jesse.
Jesse, good morning.
Good morning.
Of course.
You are a lesbian?
I would identify as a lesbian, yes, but I would like to tell you this story. Because
let me ask this as well. Let me ask this. Are you bossy?
Yes.
Are you bossy, Carolyn?
I've been the director of many multi-million-dollar firms and corporations in New York City, but I would not consider myself a bossy person. I truly believe that in this conversation today, you and I can both come to an agreement that love will always conquer hate.
Well, I do agree.
What do you think about that?
I do agree that love conquers hate, but radical homosexuals lack love. They do not have love.
Why do you feel that way?
Because they are mean-spirited. They hate good. They hate God.
What, sir? What do they hate?
They hate good. They hate
good.
They hate God. They hate the family structure. They hate anything that's right.
Do you believe in God's eyes that children born out of wedlock are, do you believe in God's eyes that that is a sin?
Nathan and I did not talk about that. What reference did we make?
I'm asking you that because it comes back to your feelings about homosexuality.
Carolyn, listen, hey, calm down.
No, I'm good. I respect you. We're all good.
You called me, my office yesterday, upset about that interview. What was said that caused you to be so upset?
I'm trying to tell you that. I felt that your references to the Bible, to being a good Christian, something very specific, which was about children that are asked by their parents to leave the home if they do not abide by their parents' rules of the house. And what's very interesting is that in Colossians 3.20 in the Bible, one of the things that God has instructed to us is that children must obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Now, if a child is in the home of two parents that love that child for being homosexual, that want that child to be loved.
You should not love a child for being homosexual, by the way. You should help a child overcome that.
God says, children, obey your parents and everything. So my parents said, They commanded me to be happy and love myself. That was the
But that didn't
command that
mean
my
be gay.
parents
That didn't
gave
mean
me.
be a homosexual.
My parents said, whether you're homosexual or whoever you are, to love yourself and to be something that you said the other day, which was that specifically about boys that are not raised by a parent, by a father and a mother.
Yes.
That there's a possibility that that mother may coddle that boy to the point where he may turn gay. And what I found very interesting is that you were not raised by your mother or your father. You were actually raised by your grandparents, and I believe your parents weren't even married. So I have a question for you. Are you gay?
My mother married my stepfather before I was born, because in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, it was embarrassment to black Americans to have children out of wedlock. So I
Right.
was not born out of wedlock.
Okay.
And
But your parents did separate.
but no, they were not. They never got married. And so
I see.
my
So you were
father,
born
my
out of
step,
wedlock.
no, I was not. My mother married my
Okay.
stepfather before I was born, because
I
it
see.
was an embarrassment and a sin, as it is today, to have children out of wedlock.
Well,
And-
your audience might know that you have two children out of wedlock. You have two sons that were born out of wedlock. Is that not true?
That's not true.
That's not true.
Not true. I only have one, and I only
that
have.
was born
Hold
out
on,
of
hold on,
wedlock.
Carolyn. Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
I have a son who was born out of wedlock.
Correct.
It was an embarrassment. It was a sin.
Did you
And
repent?
I and my son suffered for it. Hold on.
Is your son gay? Because he was born out
Hold
of
on,
wedlock.
Carol. I know your father is the devil. You don't want to hear this.
Well, I
so,
hope your son forgave his
how
mother
did you
then.
become a lesbian?
Let me turn that around.
No.
How did
Stay
you be-
with me.
How did you become
How
straight?
How did you become a lesbian?
Well, I believe that biologically people are born of different.
No, we're
different
talking
genders,
about you.
different sexuality.
How
Let's
did
talk
you
about me.
become a lesbian?
Let's talk about me. And this is in all honesty. When I was 14 years old, I found myself to be extremely depressed, and I found that my love that I had in my heart, sexually speaking, not the kind of love that I had for God or for my family or for my sisters or
Well,
my
sex
friends,
is not love.
but my meaning the love of your family, which, by the way, to God is the number one love above everything.
And you do know that a family is a married man and woman
That's
with
what
children.
I have. My parents
not,
have been together
not
for
two
50,
women, not
my-
two
my
women
parents,
or two men.
My
That's
parents
not a
have been
family.
together for 55 years. I was raised with parents that were not divorced, unlike you. But in answer to your
My parents
question,
were not divorced.
in answer to your question,
I
you
know
were
it's
raised
hard
by
for
your
radical
grandparents.
lesbian to accept the
In answer
truth.
to your question,
But my parents were not divorced.
In answer to your question, I would say that at 14 years old, I started to become attracted to women. Now, to be perfectly honest, at the same time, I was very popular in high school, and I was very popular in college.
Why were you depressed?
I was depressed because in 1973, according to the American Psychiatric Association, the definition of being homosexual from a scientific point of view was still considered a sickness. And I was depressed because I thought perhaps I may be sick. But what I found out later, and again, according to my obeying my parents, according to God, my parents said to me,
In 6:1 says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Meaning that the parents must follow God's orders. They must be children of God. And so I think Carolyn misread that for us in an attempt to deceive us. Carolyn,
in the Old Testament.
Carolyn, let me say this to you first. You mentioned you were depressed because the world at the time did not accept, they don't today, most people still don't accept it, but didn't accept homosexuality as a norm. But I want you to know you were not depressed because of that. You were depressed because you were angry. And any person who is
Reverend, how
angry,
dare you tell me what I was thinking when I was 14 years old? How dare you make that assumption?
Any person, let me finish.
It's very unfair of you to make an assumption of what I was feeling as a 14-year-old.
Let me finish.
Please ask me questions as a 55-year-old adult. Don't assume what I was thinking or what I felt at 14 years old. Now, ask me questions today. I hope that God forgave you for having children out of wedlock, Mr. Peterson.
You should overcome your anger. You should overcome your anger.
For not honoring God and having sexual relationships with a woman that I believe you did not marry, which is an abomination under the eyes of God.
It is a sin. It is a sin. Just as homosexuality is a sin. Just as homosexuality is a sin. So I agree with you on that.
Homosexuality is not a sin.
It is a sin.
As a matter of fact, there is not one word in the Old Testament or the New Testament that mentions women. Not one.
That's funny.
Not in the
There
Old
are men and women who are overcoming homosexuality.
Now, I will agree with you that it does mention men, but there is not one single word about two women who love each other. Let's talk about me.
Is gay a sin? Is gay a sin?
No.
Oh. Let me ask.
However,
there are men and women. There are men and women.
Having sexual relations outside of marriage is a sin. And you had a child out of wedlock, which is
I just told you, yes, that was a sin.
You did not marry that woman.
Right.
I have no idea if you paid child support or not.
That's not your business. I have no idea.
You're right, and it's not your business to tell me what I was thinking when I was 14 years old.
As you are today, you were an angry 14-year-old, so you felt despair. And not understanding how to overcome
Reverend,
you accept it as being normal.
Into my mind of what I was feeling at 14. Thank God I didn't have parents like yours who separated or divorced. You were raised by your grandparents. You didn't have two parents. I, on the other hand, had two loving parents.
Yeah, right. They mention women. I do want to add that homosexuality is not about love. It's not about family. It's not about civil rights. It's about sex.
Committing fornication before you were married and having children illegitimately, which is very sad because that child born out of wedlock, according to Deuteronomy 23:2, if a person is illegitimate by birth, neither he nor his descendants for 10 generations may be admitted to the assembly of the Lord.
So you
did that to your son.
You admit
you did that to your son.
Carolyn, you admit that being born out of wedlock is a sin, right?
According to the New Testament, yes.
So then you agree with me that the blacks who are having black babies that are born out of wedlock, 72% of them, blacks who are having babies out of wedlock are committing sin, right?
Say that one more time.
Black people who are having children out of wedlock are committing a sin, right?
Yes, like you did.
Okay, I just want to get you on record with that one. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go back to the phones.
According to the Bible, if you lead your life by the Bible as a Christian or a Jew, yes, that would be considered a sin, which you did commit.
But unlike you, I recognize that having a child out of wedlock was a sin, and I repent repented.
You repented.
But you are refusing to repent for being angry and holding on to your homosexuality.
Reverend, you're
go.
asking me a question. You're putting words in my mouth. I am not angry. Let's talk about the facts. I'm not angry.
You are an angry.
I am not angry. I'm angry when people like you and Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and Pat Robertson keep telling the lies that they keep perpetuating about the LGBT community.
So that you said you're not angry. Either you are angry or you're not. You're mad at all of us for putting the truth out there.
I believe that love conquers hate.
Right, but you don't have love.
Does anger exist? Yes, I'm angry that Hitler killed 50,000
No, you're angry at us
Jews.
for telling the truth.
No, sir. I am disagreeing with your
but you're angry
Christian
about it.
belief that you've just given to your audience, which is your own rhetoric. There is nothing in the Bible that said anything about what you just told your audience.
They can read it for themselves. Romans chapter 1, verse 24 through 27.
I got it right in...
I want to just point out a few things that Carolyn has said that's not true. Because radical homosexuals have a way of just lying. They do not care about just straight out lying in order to deceive. The Bible does talk about women and men in that lifestyle, homosexual lifestyle, in that it is wrong. It is a sin. She has been reading from the Old Testament, and she said that I'm sick and tired of Christians telling us that this is wrong, whatever she said. But in the Old Testament, it's about Jews, mostly about Jews, and they are against that lifestyle as well because it is a sin and it goes against what God talks about in Leviticus. And I don't like getting into the Bible thing because you end up just throwing scriptures back and forward. But in Leviticus, it talks about homosexuality and that it is an abomination against God. So just FYI, because these people, Leviticus 18:22, these people will deceive you, folks. And you need to be aware. These are the things that God wants us to look out for. We should not hate, do not resent what you see, but don't accept it as right. And when you don't accept it, you're discerning it and you're protected from it. All right? These people have destroyed families. They're trying to... They are trying to redefine what a family is. We all know that a family is a married woman and children, a father and a mother with children. Nothing else is a family. 2 men, 2 women. Some woman married her dog. I read that to you in the first of the hour. She's in love with her dog, and she married her dog. That's not a family. Only a man and a woman who are married with children. Okay, just want to put that out there for you.
I disagree with you vehemently.
Of course.
You had children out of wedlock. You never married the mother of your children.
Do you have anything
and yet
else?
You keep pushing this thing about a mother and a father. Where were your parents?
Do you have
You
anything
didn't have a
else?
mother and a father raising you.
Respond to Jarvis there. He said that you keep pointing that out, but you're denying that you're wrong.
I am denying that I'm wrong. I've done nothing wrong, whereas you have. You have committed sin according to the Bible several times.
Well, how? You said you're not even a Christian.
It sounds like you were a very rebellious person as a child, Reverend. It sounds like you were a very rebellious son. When you were a little boy, it sounds very clear to me that you were a very rebellious child.
You're displaying your anger right now.
No, I'm not.
No. You're an angry liberal female lesbian.